as I'm in this dumpster like, this shit is real, maybe we should like do something about this. Hee. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, I'm Elise. Go ahead, subscribe down below. Go ahead, like, comment too. Let's just get all the pleasantries out the way because the algorithm doesn't know I exist right now. I'd like to change that and I need your help to do it. Today's video is just gonna be like a rambly, get to know me kind of thing. I want to explain to you guys how I became an environmentalist. But before we start, I just want to say I'm getting over a cold, so obviously excuse that. Secondly, I've been very busy, so sorry, content has been like very slow. Even on my Instagram, it's been very slow, which you can follow me at ElisePore, no underscore now. I changed it. Things have been really hectic for me, but they're kind of slowing down now. I finally have days off, and it's like 3 consecutive days in a row I have off, and I just like don't know what to do. How am I going to fill my time? Do I need to be busy? Can I just slump? I actually have a doctor's appointment I have to go to, so I need to kind of like make this little swift. I thought, you know, it's Plastic Free July, whether you're participating or not, which you maybe probably should consider it, even for like a day or a week. I thought it would be kind of nice to touch back on like my roots as an environmentalist, how I got here, how I became to be such a just big lover of the earth, a tree hugger, if you will. And you know, it just is kind of gonna let you guys know a little bit of like my background, where I come from, and why I do what I do and why I love doing what I do. I guess the first place for me to start is just childhood. I feel like a lot of us, maybe our parents took us to the park or on nature walks or like out on a boat if you're privileged enough to do that kind of thing, or go to the beach and like those kinds of vacations. For me, my older brother was a Boy Scout. I think my younger brother did that too. I never did Girl Scouts, I just did Boy Scouts with my brothers. Like, they would take us camping, so I would go camping. They would have the car racing, so I would help paint the car at home or something kind of thing. So that was the Boy Scouts kind of thing, and my parents taking us on vacations and taking us to see beautiful natural scenery was something that has stuck with me for a very long time. Even to this day, I just find nature immensely beautiful and something that needs to be protected and also taken care of and fed along with, you know, to nurture your human soul, you need to also nurture the planet and the earth, because you can't separate yourself from the planet. You are a part of the planet, you are a part of the animal kingdom. Those realizations didn't come to me until like a lot later, but as a child I just knew nature is fucking beautiful, man. Like, we need to protect her. I guess I could say she's helpless, but that's not entirely the case. As a child you think like, oh, these inanimate objects, like they don't have voices, they don't have limbs, they can't move for themselves and speak for themselves, so I need to be a protector of that kind of realm and everything, and also like animals and everything, of course, huge. So that's kind of where things really started for me, was just being a child in natural scenery. I'm also from Louisiana, and that is such a beautiful place in my eyes. I'm blessed to be from there. I think the swamp, like, you can make fun of people from there all you want, but like the swamp is pretty damn beautiful. There are alligators and moss and cypress knees. It's like honestly pretty stereotypical what you think of the swamp like is Louisiana, but I'm not complaining. But I was just also fortunate enough to be able to go outside and go into the woods and like go play and like pick blackberries, ride bikes and everything. Also, when it was hurricane season, this might be disgusting to some of you, but we would take our wakeboards and literally wakeboard in the ditches and like have fun like out in the yard, and like obviously it's a natural disaster happening, but at the same time we're kind of used to it. Like, those things roll through all the time, so we just take advantage of the school days off and the heavy rainfall and like just fucking have fun. So like, I've had a lot of really nice experiences even when things weren't nice, you know. Growing up not super privileged, I would consider myself definitely like lower middle class. Like, yeah, we had like a house and everything, but it's like food and clothing and like school supplies, like those kinds of things are a little bit more like, is it gonna happen this year, or are we just gonna do like hand-me-downs again kind of thing. But that also helped me be outside a lot of the time and play outside a lot of the time, because, you know, it was up to me and my imagination to make my own entertainment, my own fun. I'm not gonna have the most recent Xbox or Wii or whatever these other kids are having. Honestly, the neighborhood kids had it, so I would just go play with them if like that's what I wanted to do. But most of the time we were outside like playing tag or touch one, touch them all, free tag, like those sorts of things, you know, or baseball out in the cul-de-sac or kickball, whatever it may be. So I just always have enjoyed enjoyed being outside in nature. So you have your nature appreciation, which is a big part of who I am. Just like I said, Louisiana is beautiful, most beautiful sunsets. There's a lakefront in my area, which I would always go visit. Even as a teenager, I would just go drive by, go hang out, walk around, those sorts of things. And when I do go visit, it's one of the places I always make sure like I go see, because it's something that's just like been a big part of my life, you know, and you can't escape that when it is such a big part of you. Moving on from like nature appreciation, which like that was instilled to me at a very young age. I also remember visiting Alaska when, oh my god, I've never seen snow before. I didn't get to touch it, unfortunately, but like now I'm in New York and trust me, plenty of snow. Had a great snowstorm this year. But like those sorts of things as a child, I'm so grateful my parents were able to do, and my family was able to like help us do that too, because it's just been something I would never trade for the world, and it's made me who I am today, at least like a big part of who I am today. Obviously, I had a great appreciation for my Mother Earth and all of those things, but then came the idea of litter and waste. And like I was like, oh my god, everyone needs to keep their trash to themselves. They need to put it in a trash bag, they need to put it away, they need to stop throwing out their fucking cars. I vividly remember going to one of my older brother's baseball games. I might have been like 8 to 10 at the time, and I enlisted my little brother in helping me, and we went around the ballpark and picked up like just about every single cigarette butt, which cigarette butts are everywhere in the first place, but at a ballpark, they're a little bit more, you know, not hard to find. So I just remember being like that being one of the very first things I did as a kid, like as like an activist or as an environmentalist, like I wasn't really watching the game, I was just there. My parents honestly were kind of like, whatever, like you're old enough, you can like look after yourself. So we just picked up so many cigarette butts, and I think that's the first time I realized like how much throwaway culture there is, how many people just think they can discard their things and they'll take care of themselves and all these sorts of things. Oh my god, my hair, what is this little guy? Well, it's too late now, just ignore it. And just like learning that not everyone thinks like me, and there are actually a lot more people out there that think that things are just going to take care of themselves once you throw them away, and that people think things just need to be thrown away. They're just like, they don't have a place other than on the ground. And that's still something that like breaks my heart when I like walk down the block to see so much trash everywhere, but at the same time it's like I'm literally on my way to work, I'm not going to stop and pick it up. Also, there's just too much of it. Also, when I was in driver's ed, I remember there being like fines for littering, and I was like, fuck yeah, like people need to be like fucking told to not throw their shit out their windows. And like the fact that cigarette butts are like a main cause of like forest fires and wildfires, and I was like, this is just even more reasons to just like stop doing what you're doing and like properly dispose of the things that you've used up and they're done. Like we can just do better, and I just feel like that's kind of stuck with me as well. As I get older, maybe more like around my teens, I become more conscious of like money, and to me, money and environmentalism are pretty closely connected, and I feel like a lot of people aren't into environmentalism. Like a lot of like big politicians and like lobbyists aren't into environmentalism because that's not where the money is. There is a lot of money to be saved, if that makes sense. While there's not a lot of money to be made from environmentalism, there is a lot of money to be like saved and like kept back in your pocket. So I'm not the biggest saver, I can be, but at the same time I just know where to not spend your money. Like, don't leave your AC on if you're not going to be home. Don't leave your fan on if you're not going to be home. Turn the lights off when you leave a room. Don't take 30-minute showers. You could like cut it down to 10, ideally 5. Don't leave the water running while you're brushing your teeth or washing your face, or just basically unnecessary things being on and active and happening. Oh my god, the biggest one for me though is leaving the fucking fridge open. I get so stressed out when people leave the fridge open. I will literally walk over and close it myself. I'd be like, I'm sorry. So that's when I sort of became aware of like saving resources and electricity and those sorts of things, and that's also really stuck with me. I'm a pretty big stickler about the lights. I know it's not like a huge thing, but like electricity in general, the way it's generated right now is off of a dirty energy grid, and I just don't want to basically spend that money on dirty energy when I could just turn off the lights when I leave the room, or turn off the AC for the day because no one's gonna be home. Who's it cooling? I will say I do leave my fan on because I have a cat and I just can't. She's a Persian cat, so she's very furry, so I just can't leave her in like a non-cooled environment, but I did buy an energy efficient fan. If you guys want like my favorite sustainable purchases kind of video, let me know, because I'm an environmentalist, yes, but I do still spend money. So that's kind of like a dual-edged sword, I guess. So also around being a teen, there was like the whole money thing and saving, but then I joined my junior year, or like made an environmental club, and that was super fun. I mean, a lot of the times we were just like sitting around talking about solutions, and there weren't things that we necessarily were doing, but we also did go collect recycling from the school and dump it. And before us, I don't know if anyone was really doing that, which is kind of scary, but I also remember like being like knee deep in a dumpster with all this recycling around me, and like seeing like National Geographic magazines and books, and like being able to take things out, things that I just always assume people only throw away trash. That kind of opened my eyes. People throw away things that they think they can just throw away. It's not necessarily trash and garbage, but it's just things that they just like don't want anymore. And I was like, wow, this is really happening like everywhere, even at my own school, you know, as I'm in this dumpster like, this shit is real, maybe we should like do something about this. It was just kind of a really fun experience, and also like I got to like kind of spread my wings as an environmentalist and be like a co-president. But that was a really fun time for me, and also just like talking to other people and connecting with people on that level of like, we all care about the earth and the environment, like what can we do about it? And like we had some really good suggestions and solutions, and I think I take from that experience just like collaboration about environmental issues is super important, because no one person is going to have the answer to everything by themselves. And being able to talk through ideas with people and like make them reality is something that I do really think we need more of, because a lot of people are active and advocating for the environment, but we're also kind of advocating emptily, which I beat myself up for. Like, I want to go walk around the block and collect trash, but I haven't done it yet. So like that's my empty advocacy in my own terms. But I do think that there is a lot of room for us environmentalists to take more action, but I also think we need to start collaborating on a bigger scale if we want that to happen. So yeah. So I feel like those three parts of me, the nature appreciation, the waste awareness, and also resource awareness, those are the three really big pillars of my personal environmentalism, and that's where I come from. I personally don't have a super deep connection with the ocean. While I admire it and love being there, it's not something that normally is like my first like thing that I think of when I personally think of environmentalism. I also just wanted to make this video to let you guys know you don't have to be the frontline activist to be an environmentalist. You don't have to be the indigenous peoples protecting their lands and their forests to be an environmentalist. You don't have to be a top influencer Instagram to be an environmentalist. The definition of environmentalism is essentially one who appreciates and cares for nature and finds it valuable. So I wonder how many of us truly are environmentalists. Probably a lot more than you think. And even if you don't consider yourself an environmentalist, maybe you should. Maybe you can start being like, well, I really do appreciate nature, so maybe it's something I should speak on a little bit more. Or I do recognize the waste crisis. Maybe it's something I should advocate for a little bit, like in my day-to-day. Little things like that, you know? I just feel like personally I've not recognized that part of myself. Even though it is a really big part of myself, I feel like I've been downplaying it or not recognizing it myself as much, because I see so many other people that are doing it like 10 times bigger. Not necessarily better, but they're doing it like a lot more often, or they can dedicate a lot more time to that sort of thing, and whereas I can't. But that doesn't negate the fact that I still do care about the environment, that I am an environmentalist at my core, honestly. I fucking love nature. Like, I just would live outside barefoot if I could. But that's not the society we're in right now. I guess what I'm trying to say is, don't be so rigorous or have so many checklists for yourself about being a certain kind of person. Like, you don't have to do everything day in and day out to like truly be an authentic environmentalist. I think this is more of a reminder for me, guys, is that like I hold myself to high standards, and if I'm gonna do something, I kind of do it like full out, all out. And I kind of beat myself up if I like fall off the wagon or something, you know? I get really beat up about myself. I'm like, oh, I'm not an environmentalist, like, I fucking had a plastic bag today. And it's like, that's not necessarily my fault, and I still do deeply care about the environment and our world. and the climate that we all live in. And I also just want to speak about something really quick, really fun fact. The reason that Canada has reached 49 degrees Fahrenheit, which is like what, 110, 111, is because what's happening is you have this vortex from the polar caps, right? And because the polar caps are melting, what's happening to this vortex is it's literally going like this. So it's like a global climate, you know, like things are just all over. So that's why that's happening, in case you wanted to know. I just thought I would sprinkle that in there. But yeah, that is all I wanted to say today. If you guys like this content, environmentalism, I have tons of other things. I have sustainability playlists, like in a nutshell. Those videos are old. I'm gonna need to like revamp and like reboot a lot of those kinds of content. But also on my Instagram, I do like stories where I talk about Plastic Free July, which I will have some videos coming up about that, so stay tuned, make sure you subscribe. I just want to say, give yourself more credit. You know, it's a tough world out here. You don't need to beat yourself up. Nobody's perfect. Nobody's activism is perfect. Nobody in general in life is perfect, as even though you may think they are. Nobody really is. And that's all I want to do. I just want to talk about where I come from, kind of let you guys get to know me a little bit more. That's all. Thanks for sitting through this chatty video. Like I said before, like, comment, subscribe. We need the algorithm to know I exist. It would be amazing. Like, things will just, maybe everyone's gonna want to save the earth. Who knows? That's the goal though, right? I will catch y'all in my next video. Stick around on my Instagram and here on YouTube for Plastic Free July. I have a few things in the work. I'm gonna do at least 2 things. Also, if you want like a swaps video or like an investment video, like things I bought that I really like video, let me know down in the comments. We can chit chat. I would also really like to learn more about y'all and like where you come from, what your environmental journey and connection is, if you have one, if you just don't even have one and you're just like, well, I'm like just getting into it, like that would be cool to know too. So I will catch y'all at my next video. Thank you again for watching. If you watched all this way, comment down below cypress knees. I might actually get like cypress knees tattooed on me. That sounds like a really cool tattoo idea. I gotta go to catch this doctor's appointment. I love you. Have a great day or night wherever you are. Remember, you're doing great. You are doing amazing. Thank you so much for being and existing and letting your light shine on others. And I will see you next time. Bye. Your girl got a ring light and she still look crazy. Like I'm just a sweaty, sloppy mess.